other men we've married, but you don't know where we came from. You've seen them 10 years later, you do not know. We had to have faith. We had to see something of substance beyond what the eye could see. I knew my husband couldn't afford dowry. I talked to my auntie. It had to be scrapped. So he knew in his heart when they were there threatening his father that it was just for tradition. After that, they would tell them at dinner that, by the way, those cows, you can have them. But we are building something. Our children will have the capacity to do whatever they want. You have to look beyond what you can see now. That man had to take a chance on me as well. My wedding, he chose the cake. He chose the decor. You know what? It doesn't matter. Maybe when we are 25 years in marriage, I'll care about cake and decor. Those things don't make a marriage. I kept telling him, babe, if we're the only ones who show up, we will get married. We'll find a witness in the church. I'm not going to get stressed. We borrowed cars from our friends for our wedding. One was, what kind of car for the bridesmaids? It wasn't even a Benz. What kind of car was it? A Mitsubishi from JK. He gave it to us. We put in fuel. We drove ourselves. Then someone had a Benz. There were 2 Benzes from friends. We borrowed them. Why are you spending 300,000 on cars you don't own to drive them for 2 hours to impress people who won't care and will talk about you when you're in financial trouble? Who are you trying to impress? I'm now told, people were telling me here that people take forged gifts for introductions, that you hire a car and pretend that you've given. What kind of hypocrisy and madness is that? How can you build such a foundation for your marriage? Absolute dishonor to your people. It's demonic. You are in this world, but you must understand you're not of this world. What are you copying? We spent a whole year in counseling. We looked for Pastor Lynette and Chris because we looked and we admired their marriage so much. And they opened their life to us. People were telling us the first year will be the hardest. We waited for a hard year, it wasn't coming. Do you know why? We prepared for marriage, not the wedding. Many of you spend all your time planning a wedding on Pinterest, stressing, spending money you don't have. Then you get married and you don't know what to do with a man or a woman. Because you spend time on nonsense. Cheap things for Instagram. Who will care when you're dying in your marriage because you have an Instagram picture? Rubbish. Rubbish. I lived in homes of very rich people with very broken marriages. Could afford everything. Some of you, it's about money. If he can't. Okay.